broadcasting live from the Business Radio X studios in Houston, Texas. It's time for Houston Business Radio. Now, here's your host.
Hello, Houston. Trisha Stetzel here, bringing you another episode of Houston Business Radio Beyond the Uniform series. Y'all know I love to highlight leaders who bring their military discipline into the business world, and today's guest is a perfect example of that. Curtis Mohler is a U.S. Navy veteran and the Director of Strategic Operations and Integration at Crew Logistics. With nearly 40 years of experience across university, military, defense, and commercial sectors, he leads strategy, operations, and business development in federal, state, and DoD markets, and is an expert in government contracting, capture management, and international business development. Curtis, I have more. Just wait, including securing large-scale contracts with senior military officials across the European theater. Known as a force multiplier, Curtis has helped generate billions of dollars in captured opportunities and is so passionate about empowering entrepreneurs and executives to grow, excel, and succeed. Curtis, wow, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Tristan, for the opportunity to be with Houston Radio and you, and for giving me a platform to share about Crew Logistics and kind of a little bit about my background and how we can help other businesses and how Crew Logistics helps oil, gas, and energy, both on the commercial, federal, and international side, but what we're involved in to help the community too as well.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you on. You guys may be familiar with Crew Logistics because we had Andrea Sakonakis on with us. Listen to me still say her name right. I'm getting really good at it. And now Curtis is here. And actually, Curtis is the one that introduced me to Andrea. And you guys do such great work. So Curtis, tell us a little bit more about you, and then let's dive into what Crew Logistics is doing.
Well, thank you so much for the introduction. It was real good. You probably pretty much covered everything. Yeah, I've been really blessed in my career. Spent 20 years in the military, and then from there, when I got out, I took a position with the Performance Military Group, which supports Navistar Defense, where I was the regional marketing manager and eventually account manager for the Western United States, where we rolled out the Sabre Dimer program. So very familiar with business development, capture management. From there, I had the opportunity to go to UTSA and work under the SBA and SBDC as the Veterans Assistance Service Program. There we helped small businesses and returning veterans from the war and wounded warriors start, expand, and train their businesses all the way through. And then I created a process, a 7-phase process for business to help them. That was a real joy for me. Then I transitioned to the Chase Business Development Program, which was another veteran program that focused on government contracting. From there, I worked for the UTSA and the SBDC and the PTAC for 8 years being a counselor. I've probably done about 6,000 to 8,000 hours of one-on-one advising for owners, starting expanding a business under the DLA contract. And then I became eventually program manager of the PTAC, as well as the Apex transition in that program, and of course, securing billions of dollars. The greatest thing about that is working with our veterans. As a veteran myself, when you're meeting the veterans, not only do they have a passion for their business, but they have the skill set and experience needed to be successful. And just giving those keys and support units and also the training, they flourished. And just seeing them take it from one stage all the way through, and now many of them are multimillionaires and they're starting their own businesses. That was a great joy for me. That led me to eventually to Crew Logistics. Andrea used to be a client of mine, and then we circled back, and she reached out to me and said, "Can we help with Crew Logistics?" And it was a wonderful opportunity for me to use my gifts and talents and experience in leadership, as you mentioned, to help now Crew Logistics supporting the oil, gas, energy, as well as our federal partners.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have such a vast background from a business perspective, but also even just the little bit that you've shared so far, you're such a giver. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes as well, because I know Crew Logistics is giving back. But let's dive a little deeper into Crew Logistics. For those who didn't catch Andrea's episode, let's talk about what Crew Logistics does and how they're supporting oil, gas, and energy specific to Houston.
Yeah, matter of fact, I was just out in West Texas and Midland and Odessa, hit about 45 oil rigs. Crew Logistics is a nationwide program and a company that provides group lodging and other roster management support when their crews have to go out for any reason. That'd be a routine business, a routine project, hitches, emergency reasons or projects. We basically support the people and the leadership, and we find them a place to stay. Because if they don't have a good place to stay and they don't feel comfortable with the job and the mission is not going to get done, your people are the most important asset. So we make sure the oil, gas, energy, disaster resources companies have a great place to stay, but we also take care of the invoicing, accounting, and roster management through our CrewFax reservation system, which makes the invoicing and the accounting process seamless. And we can also, in most cases, save them 10% or more of their current monthly travel spend, which could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. That enables them to put the money back into the company and employees and either reinvest it or give it back to them. So we think we have a valuable resource and a lot of products and services in our platform, and we can pretty much adjust to anything. We can build out man camps, camp modulars, camp solutions, DFAC, laundry. In the international side, we can even help with the military, doing several things, building out camps, providing products and resources through our platforms. But our goal is mainly housing and doing logistics and moving the troops and the oil and gas and energy personnel to where they need to be so they can fulfill their mission.
And then no one else has to worry about it because that's exactly what you guys are doing, right? Is making sure that
Correct.
everyone from a human resource perspective is taken care of. So let's talk specifically about Houston. What kind of work are you doing down here in oil and gas?
Yeah, we're working with a lot of oil and gas companies down here. Of course, a lot of them are headquartered, whether in Spring, Texas, or Houston, or Louisiana. Most of our area covers eastern New Mexico and the shell areas there, West Texas, and Houston, of course, in Corpus Christi, towards Laredo, as well as Oklahoma and parts of Kansas. So that's really our sweet spot. Of course, we do it throughout the nation, but really the region down here in your listing area have companies that we can support. If you're not connected to Crew Logistics, of course, connect with us, and then we can help your companies. But we're helping a lot of oil and gas companies that are affiliates, and they have subunits down in West Texas and Odessa, which I just visited. So a lot going on with Crew Logistics, and there's great ways that we can serve them.
That's beautiful. So you've got some really deep experience from your time at UTSA, Apex, Accelerator, and even PTAC. So what are some of the biggest lessons you have learned about helping small and large businesses start, expand, and even be successful in government contracting?
Yeah, I was really fortunate because I came in 2011. The late Terry Williams was able to hire me, and she said, "Look, I know you can do the job. I read your resume, and so she gave me the opportunity to do that. And then working with UTSA for the last 12 years, and then eventually taking over the PTAC and the Apex. It was a critical time too because they shifted from the PTAC to the Apex, so I was able to not only restart or re-engage the PTAC and kind of restructure the program and but also bring the Apex Accelerator online, including all aspects of it, whether it's the personnel grant and the mission itself. The goal there at the Apex Accelerator and the PTAC was to help small and large businesses, whether it be defense industrial base or the government industrial base. That's key because it fits into what we do at Crew Logistics. Of course, a lot of our partners are doing government industrial base, which would be the contracting side of it on the commercial as well as the federal side. My work at the PTAC and the experience that I learned counseling and advising companies and owners was really a platform I was able to use with Crew Logistics because I was able to go into the companies very quickly and assess what they needed and then build a strategic plan for them and leverage that through our platform and resources through Crew Logistics. So the biggest lesson that I learned from that, the Apex and the PTAC is no matter if it's federal, university, private sector, or government, at the end of the day, the client and the company just wants to be served. They want you to provide solutions for them. And any solutions that you can provide them through your research and your hard work, that's really going to help them and propel them. Most cases, they have the internal personnel to do it. They have the talent. They just need a little coaching and help.
Yeah, absolutely. So you managed two veteran programs, both in VASP and Chase Business Development. I know that you all are also supporting the troops, and you mentioned that a few minutes ago in the international space. Andrea and you are both very passionate about supporting veterans. So talk about how Crew Logistics is supporting that space, internally and externally.
Absolutely. Well, one of the main things you want to do is when we expand and we have projects, we have an opportunity to hire. And so our first place is going to be the veterans. Recently, I was able to, Andrew and I were out in Germany, and we were able to build relationships with the International TAP program, or the Transition Assistance Program. I just had a webinar with 2 weeks ago. Why that's important is a lot of our veterans are looking to transition. They're looking to take the viable skill, and then transition that to a skill that they can use on the civilian side. With Crew Logistics, our service platforms fit very well in the Army logistics, as well as the other platforms such as IT, hospitality, crew management, field logistics. So I was able to have an opportunity to speak to the international Germany TAP audience out there and provide how we help them transition. And we're one of the avenues or companies they could actually transition to. We also have been helping out, building out the relationships with the international community in Germany, as well as the corporate and also the internal structures of the different units out there, and see how we can best support their units through Crew Logistics platform, but also be a conduit to hire them too as well.
It's such a beautiful thing. You have this amazing background, but you've always had this mission, I feel like, and it's I see it through the business part of you, the coaching part of you, as well as the personal part of you in that mission. So if people are already, and I know they are, Curtis, excited and want to reach out to you, they want to learn more about you or connect with you, or even learn more about Crew Logistics and how they can get involved, what is the best way to connect with you?
Absolutely. My email is curtis@crewlogistics.com. That's curtis@crewlogistics.com. And my phone number, I'm going to put it public. I mean, you can contact me directly, 210-823-3145. We love to talk to the owners of the oil and gas industry and energy industry, and just provide what we call a crew saver presentation. It's a 15-minute presentation. It's virtual. It's zero risk to you. It's basically a program where we look at your last 60 days travel spend, and then we provide you with analysis within a week or two of that, and then how we can save you money. But what we do is we build a customized travel plan just for you. But it's not just where to stay, but how best you could have saved money, and then how you can save money in the future with us using our platform. So it's a great benefit for any size of an oil, gas, energy company. Gives an opportunity to do it, and it's again zero risk through the Crew Savers program. 15 minutes, it's worth your time.
Wow, that's fantastic. What a great program you have. So, for all my oil and gas leader friends who are listening, or those who have oil and gas friends, please spread the word about this program that Curtis just talked about. All right, circling back around to business leadership, what advice would you give to business leaders who want to grow in competitive markets while staying true to their mission?
Absolutely. Um, Having a master's degree in organizational leadership, I have a passion for projects and leadership, and I just love mentoring people. As leaders, you will never stop getting the opportunities to mentor people, and you want to do that. There's two options. You could either hold information to yourself and all your gifts and talents and never share them, or you could take the verse that I always have is never withhold something good when it's in your power and hand to do it. And it's in Proverbs 3:27. And that's a good leadership modem I've lived by model for many years. And you'll never go wrong by sharing and supporting, and then training and investing in people, because it always comes back to you. But at the end of the day, you're mentoring somebody in the future generation, and it's helping all of us. So never be weary and never be tired of investing in others, because it's always going to come back to you, but it's helping them, and they'll never forget those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Share the wealth, right? Share your knowledge, share your expertise. I love that. So, in keeping with this mission, I know that there's something that you and Crew Logistics have been leading in the getting information out about human trafficking. And I'd love for you to talk about how you guys are engaged in that and what you're doing.
Yeah, I can summarize it real quick. For a $25 investment, I went down to the oil and gas network. I encourage everybody to go to OGGN. It's the last Thursday of each month. I think it started again September. Mark LaCour and his staff, Paige and everybody down there, just been wonderful. I went down there and attended their mixers, which is outstanding for the oil and gas. You need to do that down at the ranch office. During that, what they do is they provide an opportunity for companies to basically sponsor and Red M is an organization headed by David Reed and his wife, as well as Jason Duff and several others that fight human and sex trafficking, which is just a horrible thing. I shared that with Andrea and the team. And we are now not only sponsoring for consecutive months to the end of the year, which is January, so 5 to 6 consecutive months, but we also want to put a challenge out to all of the oil and gas industry that to match that and to go to the OGG and connect to Red M and Jason Duff and David Reed and get involved in that. It's a very important organization. We can collectively, as the oil, gas, and energy industry, all of us, whether we're on LinkedIn or military, I want to encourage all the partners, clients, resource partners, stakeholders to get involved in that. Not only give, but give of your time. Andrea had a great opportunity, along with Matt Hogan, to be part of a roundtable on the 31st of July and really support Red M. And of course, if you go to our LinkedIn, Curtis Mohler, you can connect with me and Andrea Tsakanikas as well. You're going to see that we've made a lot of posts to Red M, but we are heavily involved in what we call Project Red M or Red Card. And of course, we know Red Card means stop. It's not good behavior. Everybody's familiar with that. So that's where the Red Card came from, and Project Red Card, which Crew Logistics has been heavily involved in that. But we want to encourage our partners not only give, but that's how we got involved. And we sponsor each month along with other companies, and we want to put out the challenge to do the same.
I love that. So, you guys, I'm going to put the links in the show notes as I always do. All you have to do is point and click and be a part of the challenge or take the challenge. I think that's fantastic, Curtis. Why is it important for businesses to engage in missions like this, where we're giving back or helping provide opportunities or helping a particular event or getting information out there like Red M? Why is that important?
Absolutely, because we've been put in positions of trust and we've been given platforms that other people don't have access to. Let's use those platforms in a positive way. One of the things that my wife and I do, we're involved in Compassion Ministries, where we support three young ladies monthly through support, financial support, but also for their families and mentorship, connected to a local community and ongoing health support. So there's ways you can get involved in that. But getting back to the Red M, that's important because we have access to decision makers that other people don't have, and by us using the platform and connecting others, we can really make a financial impact through donations, but we can also volunteer and be part of it. So it's an ongoing thing. Lots of platforms. Connect to Red M, OGGN, which is the Oil and Gas Network, Mark LaCour, as well as David Reed and Jason Duff. They're just doing a tremendous job, and we're just following their lead and the leadership of their team as they lead us to make awareness to the plight of the most vulnerable.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a very diverse background. I know I've said that multiple times today, but I'm really wondering what it is about Crew Logistics that lights you up as you look back on your entire career and all of the things that you've done. What is it about Crew Logistics that really energizes you?
Well, it's our owner, President Andrea. She's a light bulb. She's very smart. She's one of the brightest owners there is. And I can tell you that over the last 11, 12 years, she's built this company from the ground up. So we're the fruits of her labor. So it's easy to root for her. But we have products and services that focus on people. When I go out to West Texas and Odessa, the first thing I tell them is we're not here to sell equipment. We're here to take care of the leadership and people. because we know if the people are taken care of, the mission gets done. We often forget the people side of it. It's hard work out there in the oil and gas industry, energy industry, and in the military. We try to make it a little easier through crew logistics. So that's why I got a passion for that, is because we help people. And not only do we house them, but we save them money and we give them a platform, and we do also the invoice accounting and roster management. Taking that logistical load, it allows them to concentrate on the job.
Yeah, and that's so important, right? They need to do what they're good at, being in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, and let you guys take care of the rest. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Um, do you have a favorite story, whether it's your story or client story surrounding crew logistics?
Um, yeah, I mean, one of the best things that I think that I've had the opportunity to do is I had the opportunity to go to Germany in June with Andrea and support the international team out there. But during that time, where I was able to stay in a castle grounds for a couple weeks. I'd never done that before, and I didn't know that the word graph, which my first cousins are graph, meant count. So I learned that in German. But other than that, I know no German. My Spanish wasn't much help for me out there, but I learned that how beautiful Germany was, how
Mm,
beautiful the people are, but just connecting to the units out there. I've been building out the infrastructure for over a year, but then going out there and then meeting them one on one at the units and putting a face to the name. That was special for me because, of course, I have a passion for the troops. So knowing and go, wow, at 2, 3 in the morning when we were building out that infrastructure, because of course it was +7 there on the time zone, meeting them and then working with them and supporting them even now and building out the infrastructure and then supporting was really great.
amazing. Can we roll the tape back a little further? I'd love to talk about your military experience. What'd you do in the Navy? And how was that experience for you?
Oh, I love the Navy. Matter of fact, I grew up in Waterloo, Sioux Falls, Iowa, which is about 100,000, but it's out in the middle of nowhere. And of course, the first thing I want to do is travel. And I love Iowa, but I was looking forward to travel. And boy, did I. I think I went through, probably traveled to 20 to 23 countries, lived in 4 or 5 states. Of course, I'm married, I have 3 kids. Of course, I have grandkids now too as well. And so just having that experience of traveling. And then I think, you talked about UTSA and all the things I've been able to do with crew logistics. One of the things that helped me at UTSA, and I think even now, is because the Navy allows you to be in different platforms, that enabled me to be a good advisor and a leader when I was helping companies because I had a little bit of knowledge about everything because the Navy's going to give you a myriad experience. I started off on board the USS Midway working for the Naval Investigative Service, believe it or not, as their region afloat. I guess you could say I was a paralegal, did all kinds of important investigations, counterintelligence, counterespionage, even defense cases, did that for 4 years. And then from there, I went to Guam, and it was the middle of the Gulf War. So I went from being an administrative person to processing message traffic for the war at NTC NAVCAMS Guam, as well as Sume Cove. Did that for 2 years. Then I transitioned to two aviation squadrons in Whidbey Island, beautiful area. The VA 128 and VAQ 132. So I got to experience the aviation side of it. I loved it very much. I mean, I just beautiful area, but I learned so much from the squadrons.
Mm,
And then about leadership as I started to grow. The Navy will teach you leadership. It'll also teach you to be able to figure out things on the fly. That's what I loved about the Navy. I think it creates great leaders. The next, I was able to recruit for 3 years in Albuquerque, New Mexico, as well as be the DEP coordinator, delayed entry program coordinator for the Zone 5, coordinating all the new recruits as they get in, preparing them for the military. And then also from there, I went to the Seabees following that, and I spent 3 years in the Seabees in Port Hueneme. That was totally different. If you're not familiar with the Seabees, they mount out with the Marines, and it's a totally different side of it. It was able to get the Seabee Combat Warfare pin, really engage myself in there, and to be part of that. Totally different communities. I think if you talk to most Seabees, they'll call themselves Marines. I think they're the most akin to the Marines. And then from there, I finished out here at Medina. base here over at the Lackland Air Force Base, helping with the JRTC program as with Commander Hale, which is a great experience. So that was my 20 years. It went very fast. Anybody tells you it doesn't go fast, it goes very fast. And I loved it. And if I could do it again, I wouldn't change anything. I love the Navy. It was just a tremendous experience. And I am a product of the leadership and the people that invested in me in the Navy.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's one leadership lesson that really sticks out for you that you learned in the Navy that you still use today?
Yeah, one of the things that I learned from different places I've been and the leaders that mentored me is that um, no matter if you have direct knowledge about something or you have total knowledge about something, the Navy way is can do.
Mm.
Yeah, that's always said, or "Oorah, can do," meaning you find a way to get it done. And one of the things that a lot of leaders told me over their time was, Curtis, you may not know every facet of everything. I tend to be a little bit analytical and want to know everything, but a lot of leaders are like, Curtis, don't sweat that you don't know everything about it. Just go forward with the project or whatever you're going to do in the leadership, and you will learn over time, not only from others, but you'll start growing in that knowledge. But throw yourself into it and know that that knowledge will come, but take that first step first and just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. Can do. We don't
Right.
let things fail. That's just part of it.
That's
And the
right.
cool thing about the veteran community, when we find each other, we speak the same language. It may
Yes,
sound
absolutely.
weird and foreign to everyone else, but we do. We speak the same language. Wow.
Absolutely.
Curtis, one more time, tell us how to connect with you. Tell us who you want to connect with and give us your contact information.
Yeah, our primary market is the commercial oil and gas energy, as well as emergency resources, utilities. We can really help you. It's called the Crew Savers Program. It'll save you 10%. Let us sit down with you for 15 minutes virtually. It's zero risk to you. My phone number is 210-823-3145. Curtis Mohler from Crew Logistics, or you can email me Curtis at crewlogistics.com. That's Curtis at crewlogistics.com. Let us help you. We can provide solutions and customized support for you and save you lots of money. I know that you'll enjoy doing that, saving money.
Yeah. And you will not be disappointed in a conversation with Curtis. You guys are doing amazing work. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being with me. This has been a fantastic conversation. I look forward to our next one.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
That's all the time we have for today. If you found value in this conversation, share it with a fellow entrepreneur, a veteran, or even a Houston leader ready to grow. Be sure to follow, rate, and review the show. It helps us reach more bold business minds just like yours. And your business, your leadership, and your legacy are built one intentional step at a time. So stay inspired, stay focused, and keep building the business and the life you deserve.